Shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash.
Shalom, it's brother Panah.
Man, I hope that camera don't tip over. Today, no, it's cool. It ain't that one. I get it. But today we gonna name this camp Law, Statutes, and Commandments. You know, because we going back to the basics of just teaching the law, statutes, and commandments. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you can't just get carried away with just one area of the truth. I remember the apostle said you got to be well-rounded in the truth. You know, some brothers, like it says, what's that, Corinthians, I believe 10 or something like that. Here, let me some brothers is more gifted in different areas. Some brothers is gifted in prophecy. Some brothers are better teachers. Some brothers are better with the spirit. But you still have to be well-rounded. You might be gifted.
Yeah, and you might be, like you were saying, while he taking care of that, you might be gifted in certain areas more than another brother. But in the scriptures, it speaks about no matter what's your strong suit, it's all spirit coming from the Lord, right? And he gives you, like he gives each brother strong suits in certain certain areas, you know what I mean? Right. But it's all spirit coming from the Lord.
Right, and then you're supposed to eat the whole roll. So if you're going to eat the whole roll and learn the whole Bible, then you have to be well-rounded in all areas. Even though, like, everybody know, like, pretty much if you've been watching my videos, you know my strong suit is prophecy. I'm real big on going into the prophecies and stuff like that. But you still got to be able to know how to break down everything. And then we're a body, right? So every part of the body matters. You see what I'm saying? How much difficult would your life be if you ain't have your thumb? So even your thumb, just a little thing, but that's a very important thing to your body to make your life function. If you didn't have a leg, if you didn't have one arm, if you didn't have ears. So every part of the body is important, you know? Just because one brother might be super good in prophecy, you got to come in the truth and find your niche. You got to be well-rounded in everything, but you got to say, okay, he's good at prophecy. I ain't trying to be like him. That's what the Lord blessed him with. Let me see what the Lord blessed me with. I might be good with the brotherhood, you know, up in brother spirit. I might be good with teaching the law. You know, so there's different areas where you're strong. It's like going to college. You might major in, you know, you have a major, but you still got to pass all the regular classes and stuff too. You know, the math, the English, you still got to pass those, take those classes, but your major might be like business and administration. But you still got to be kind of well-rounded in order to get your bachelor's. So it's the same thing in the truth. So sometimes you got to go back to the basics. Just go back to the law, statutes, and commandments. That, I mean, really, that'll never fail you. Really going back to the basics. Never failed there, you know, because they kind of straightforward, but they still got to be broken down because these languages, our language and our ways, our heritage was kind of became strange to us. So today, you know, the law, statutes, commandments is strange to this world today. In the ancient world, the wickedness was strange when we were righteousness. So now, since the law, statutes, commandments have became strange, the Lord sending his prophets back out there to teach it, to tell you, because this is what is going back to the norm. When we get into the kingdom, what's going to be the law, statutes, commandments are going to be the laws over the earth, because we're going to be empowered, you know. So it's good to know these things, you know, and to start repenting, because that's one of the things. Start repenting, circumcising your heart, you know, to follow the Lord. How can you do that if you don't know the law, statutes, commandments, right? There's 613 of them total, you know, that really much is summed up in the first 10. But there's a lot more to it, because some people think there's just 10, but there's not. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, because it's you got different laws that surrounds around certain instances. You know what I mean? Like the dietary law, or the sacrificial law, or the Messianic law. You know what I'm saying? You got all of these laws. They got their own individual names because they're surrounded around that topic, you know what I mean? And it's showing you how to deal with certain things inside of these laws, you know what I mean? Even though they all are, you know, they all kind of serve the same purpose, but they're named different for that reason, you know what I mean? Because you might get into a situation with a brother, right? You might get into a situation with a brother, you know what I mean? And they got laws that tells you how to deal with a brother if you get into a situation, you know what I mean? Or, you know, just like that, you know what I mean? So
because like the brother said, it's teaching us how to deal with each other, our nation. You know, you got unclean laws, you got clean laws, so something like a pandemic won't happen, so the nation can stay clean, you know what I mean? Sanitize, you know, because a brother might do some stuff, right, and then come to the congregation or wherever y'all, you know, bringing out the truth, and he might defile everybody, you know, like, damn, bro, you ain't wash your hands, you ain't do this. So it's teaching you kind of how to be a man too, you know, and then you got laws on how to deal with your woman. You know, we need them because you got simps out here, you got beta males, you got alpha males. They all got their own philosophies on how to do it. So we don't go off our own way. We go off the way that the Lord said do, because that's the way. That's the straight way, you know. So it's a lot of different things in the laws, and we're not going to be able to touch on all of them. You know, not today, because we have to read the whole Bible pretty much. But we're going to touch on some that's popular and some that's important. You know what I mean? Let's start off there.
Leviticus 11 at the top. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts, and these are the beasts which ye shall eat among the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever part of the hoof and is cloven footed, and chewed the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat.
Right, so it's just breaking it down that there's certain clean beasts, and we're not going to get all in it. We might get like a couple more verses, but there's certain clean beasts that you can eat, meaning there's certain clean animals you can eat, and then there's certain animals that's not clean. I'll give you some examples. You're not supposed to be eating shark and shit, because anything alligator, because anything out of the sea that you can eat is supposed to have fins and scales, and it's going to tell you that if we get to it. But you're not supposed to go hunt down a lion, right, and then go eat lion. You know what I mean? That's a predator animal. You're not supposed to be eating hyena and shit like that, man. Octopus and shit like that. Crabs, lobster. You're not supposed to be eating those things. You're supposed to be eating things that's plain to you, because you really you are what you eat. So if you eat something that's eating grass, then you're gonna be healthy. You're good. Like a deer, you can eat deer. If you eat something that's eating carcasses and shit like that, toxins like pigs, shit, anything,
catfish,
then that shit gonna come into you, because that pig is what you eat. You gonna be what you eat. You know, so it all comes together, you know. And the Lord gave us this dietary law in order to keep us healthy, like we said with the clean and unclean laws, to keep us clean, to keep us healthy. It all comes together. Our people refuse to follow these laws because they don't like order. They don't like law, you know. But not even realizing that these things really benefit us. Us keeping the law, statutes, commandments benefit us. Because the Lord is, in the heavens, man. The Lord is on the throne. He's good forever. So really, the law, statutes, commandments, the Lord gave it to us. This is what made us a holy, particular people. It's our law. This is what separated us from the other nations, because we had these perfect law, statutes, and commandments from the great.
Verse 4. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
Yeah, jump down to like the next category, pretty much. You know, the fish, then the birds.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to eat camel, man. So you might go and say, look, I'm going to give me some camel. If you do that, then you're sinning against the dietary law. Because a lot of people, like the brother said, a lot of people don't, they just think of the first 10 laws, statutes, commandments. They don't know that it's a whole dietary law of how to eat and what not to eat. You're not supposed to be eating pork, swine. You know, they forced our people. They killed our people for not eating swine. Read 2 Maccabees chapter 7. 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Shit. When the king was trying to force certain of our people to eat swine. And they got put to death rather than eating the swine. So how today you think it's okay just to go eat swine? When we had our people die refusing not to eat swine because they didn't want to sin against the Lord, law, statutes, commandments. And shit, that's what it's about, you know? Shit, it should be the next one. Which verse you want?
Verse 4.
Whatever, so the water.
Oh, then y'all pass. Okay, these are, verse 19, these shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Yep. So in the waters, you want to eat things that got fins and scales. So if you get out in the wilderness, man, then you gonna know, okay, you catch something out the water, do it got fins and scales? If it do, I can eat it. If it don't, then don't eat it. I was watching this show, It's like a survival. It's like one of those survival shows, right? Where you know they just drop a man on the island, he by himself, and he got to survive. He got to build him like a shelter. He got to get his fire started, and then the key thing is he got to get water and find a way to filter his water. And then the next big key thing is what? He got to hunt to eat in order to live. To see if he could survive like a certain period of time. And I always remember this, right? The guy had ate like a bush rat or something like that.
It was a beaver.
Or something, yeah, a beaver or something like that. And what happened is he got sick and he got worms all in his stomach, because that motherfucker probably had parasites all in the meat. You know what I mean? So he almost died. If they wouldn't came to save him, the production or whatever, the cast, if they wouldn't came and saved him, he would have died there, just basically off what he ate. But if he knew the law, statutes, commandments, then he would have knew not to eat that. Right. And to eat something that with fins or scales, or depending on what type of beast, he would have knew not to eat. You're not supposed to eat squirrel. He would have knew these things, right? And it would have saved him. So that was like a perfect example. That hit me hard. I was like, damn, see? Look how important the law, statutes, commandments is, and the wisdom and knowledge of the law, statutes, commandments. Not only are we supposed to follow, you got to know these things. You have to get in the Bible and study. So our people that's against the Bible, how you gonna be against the Bible when the Bible gives you this knowledge? So you gotta get into the Bible in order to study it, to learn it. Then they say the white man wrote the Bible. So the white man telling people what's clean and what's not clean to eat. When has this devil ever did that? This devil today is telling you can eat shrimp, lobster.
That's what I was gonna say. If he wrote it, why he ain't following the book that he wrote?
Yeah. If he wrote it, if it come from him, why he ain't following the book to a T?
Exactly.
He eats swine. The white man got bacon on every fucking burger you see.
Man, that motherfucker eat people.
Man,
let alone swine, they drink each other's blood and shit.
Man, you know the top burger at every restaurant, their number one burger probably come with bacon.
So every time, it's always probably like one of the first one to five. You know what I'm saying? And 3 of them got bacon on it.
Yeah. So if he wrote the Bible, why he ain't following it then? That don't make no sense. The Bible is against everything that he's doing. Like today they got a thing called same-sex marriage. The Bible was against that. So if he wrote the Bible, then why is he saying you can do same? It don't make no sense. That's how we know it didn't come from him. This Bible been here before, even before them. And then people say, well, there's books that outdate the Bible. Impossible, because we ain't talking about the actual Bible. We talking about the story, the truth that's found in the Bible. And the truth that's found in the Bible go all the way back to the beginning of the earth being created, Genesis chapter 1. So ain't no before that. So a lot of people get caught up on the actual physical book. They ain't want the actual physical book. It's about the words that's in the book, the truth, which goes all the way back, man. Before it was on the book, it was like an oral tradition that's passed down. Your elders will teach you. Your fathers will teach you. When you was born, don't do this, don't do that. Wrong from right. And
that's why, and that's another thing. What the scriptures say, the Lord people has a zeal up for him, but not according to knowledge. You know what I mean? And that's why you gonna always bump heads with, the regular Christian, you know what I'm saying, or just a regular family member will tell you, or always try to tell you need God, or you need to pray, you need to do this, but they don't know the Lord themselves. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got another one on there?
Verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas, and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. So everything else outside of having fins and scales is unclean. You know what I'm saying? Shrimp, lobster, crab, catfish, you know what I'm saying? All of these other, and that's just to name a few. And like he was saying, shark, alligator is a big one. You know what I'm saying? People love alligator. They always tell you, alligator, it tastes like chicken. No, it don't have fins and scales. Right. It's unclean. Right. Everybody know an alligator will eat a human being alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the things that the Lord is giving us the right to eat, these are the type of things that won't even, they won't consume only certain things, you know what I mean? They will only consume certain things.
Yep.
The unclean beasts will consume anything.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And that's why they're set up as natural filters on the earth.
Exactly.
Now Esau telling you to go and eat the natural filters of the earth. And that's why the earth is in the state that it's in. The air, the pollution, the water is polluted, because motherfuckers is taking the natural filters, the shrimp, the lobster, the bottom feeders out the ocean that's supposed to be there to clean the ocean, and they're eating it.
You know what I mean?
This is crazy, man. This is Romans 10, like the brother said, verse 1. It says, brother, my heart desire and prayer to God is for Israel that they might be saved. So Paul was praying for what? That Israel might be saved, not the whole world. It says, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. We got a zeal. Quanaya means zeal, zealot, and it ain't a bad thing to be a zealot, because really it goes into being zealous of the Lord, meaning to inquire of the Lord. You're inquiring of the Lord.
You're searching for him. You're seeking him.
If you're breaking him down,
You know what I'm
if you're
saying?
breaking it down, the word down. You know, so we have a zeal for the Lord because a lot of these things was taught orally and it was passed down. So like our people, some of the law, statutes, commandments we keep natural. That's what we always try to tell people. It ain't a hard thing to do because most of them really you already know. You already keep it natural. You just got to do the work and go ahead. That's what.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, and like he was saying, naturally we are a moral people, right? Because we are the apple of the Lord's eye, which means we are His chosen people. So He put His ways unto us, right? So naturally we are a moral-based people, meaning like what the first generation slaves on back, you know what I mean? It was all organized pretty much, you know, before they started breaking the laws and stuff, right? Right, everybody had a wife, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really too much crazy shit going on. It wasn't no same-sex shit like that going on, you know what I mean, until we got brought over here, you know what I mean? And then they started breaking us morally and as a people in whole. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, we was morally people.
I'm going to jump to Leviticus 17. So this is another thing. So we went in on the food, not all of it, but you can read Leviticus 11 yourself, you know, break it down. Now we're going to go to Leviticus 17. I'm going to jump to verse 10. It says, and this goes right along with the food. Whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, this has always been about Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, and this is talking about you have Israelites that live as Israelites, that live in the land, right? And then at the same time, right, like if we're Judah, right? And then you have Issachar, right? Issachar comes live in Judah. Yeah, we're the same people and we're Israelites, but he's going to be a stranger in the land of Judah because his people have the land of Issachar. Right. But he could come live amongst us. Why? Because we're all Israelites. You see what I'm saying? So if you a Judite and you grew up in the land of Judah, right, and then you moved to the land of Benjamin, you a stranger in that land to them. Exactly. Even though we're all the same people, man. That's how this works. Just because it says stranger don't mean the other nation. And then you had a thing where we became strangers because we had moved out of the land, right? And we had stopped living as Israelites and we became Gentile strangers, right? Just like if there was a nation, let's just say there was Israelites in the land right now, living as Israelites, and we over here living as Americans. If we had the right to go back to Israel, we'd be strangers to everything. We'd go over there and be like, damn, you do things way different. We've been living as Americans, even though we're the same people by blood. Now it says, that eateth any matter of blood, right? I would even set my face against that soul that eateth blood and would cut him off from among his people. See, it says from among his people. So they're the same people, even a stranger. It says, for the life of the flesh is in the blood. This is why you can't eat blood, because the life is the blood. What gives you the life? Your blood that's flowing through you. Right. You know, your veins and everything allow your blood to travel through you. If you die if you bleed out. If too much blood come out of you, you will die. Right? So it says, for the life of flesh is in the blood. And I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh atonement for your soul. When you go on the altar and you have a sacrifice for your sins back in the day, that's how it was, the blood. You know, you would sacrifice them by spilling their blood. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you should eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourn among you eat blood. Whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust. So this is teaching you how to do it. So back in the ancient days, you would have to actually catch your prey and spill the blood of it, and then you're supposed to cover that blood with dust. It says, for it is the life of all flesh, and the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said to the children of Israel, he shall eat the blood of no matter of flesh, for the life of all flesh straight to the point. You're not supposed to eat the blood. So if Esau wrote the Bible, right, then why the fuck is Esau telling you eat your steak rare today with blood all in it, all bloody and everything? That's against the law, did we just say? But then they made fun if you go in there and say, I remember a long time ago I went to Golden Corral and I got my steak done. I said I want my well done. The dude kind of looked at me and kind of mugged me, and I was finna smack the shit out of him. So he kind of looked away because he seen the look on my face. When he looked at me, he kind of looked at me, and I looked at him like, I know you ain't finna say nothing about how I want my food.
Exactly.
And then he kind of looked away because if you let them, they try to bully you into it. Yeah. Oh, you want it well done?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like you an eyeball.
Like you a clown.
Yeah. And what's so crazy is even before I even knew that law, I ain't never want to cut open my meat and see no blood dripping out my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like we said, because it's already kind of in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that shit crazy.
But the ways of see, this is what makes us Gentiles. The other nations led us into their ways.
Exactly.
Our people wasn't eating fucking steak with blood into it until they seen Esau doing it. And then Esau made it popular, and then he kind of put that bad stench on you if you ate it well done. You eat it well done, that's fucking gross. You're basically eating leather, leather or some shit like that.
You basically eating a burnt steak.
Yeah, and then our people started to follow that, and they start saying the same shit.
Yeah.
Now everybody, I gotta eat mine with a little blood in it.
Yeah, it brings out the flavor. It's the juices.
And where you get that shit from? Esau. Because really, back in the day, all black people, we ate our shit well done. We eat everything well done. Our chicken well done, everything. Esau, they the one that undercook all they shit. Yeah. It's the truth, man.
Yeah, fucked up.
And what did we say earlier in the beginning of this? The ways of the Lord became strange today. See, that's strange to say, no, I don't want no blood in it. And then if motherfucker want to argue with you, you go to Leviticus 17 and say, look, just ask them. And they get to talking about, you gonna eat it with that? Be like, do you believe in the Lord? They gonna say, yeah, 9 times out of 10. But like, do you follow the Lord? Yeah, I try my best. Leviticus 17, shut the fuck up. It says eat it with no blood in it. You try to tell me to eat it with blood. What does that make you? Make you an antichrist. Because who they call Christ, he's for all the law, statutes, commandments. He told you in Matthew chapter 5. Not one jot of the law shall pass. Lo, you see heaven and earth. Not one jot shall pass until all be fulfilled, you know?
And it's a lot of laws, right, that we go off on just because of, we in captivity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for the most part, like when it comes down to the dietary law or something like that, you got control over that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you know and still choosing to do like that's just your choice.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Ain't no excuse. Yeah. I mean, because I literally stopped. Like before I came into the truth, I used to smoke, and I used to eat pork. I mean, we all did. You know what I'm saying? But then I found out through this brother right here. You know what I'm saying? Because we always been close. You know what I'm saying? He my cousin, right? And so we always been close. He came into the truth, and by us talking so much, he had just like I call him or something, just call him to see what he's doing. Just to call him and see what he's doing, and then he'll just lay some scriptures on me, right? And then he'll break it down. And like that's how I came into it, because if something makes sense to me, then it makes sense.
Yeah, you got to do a testimony too.
Yeah,
you got to do a testimony of how you came in.
Right. So, slowly but shortly, little things like we'll be having like just regular conversations, and then he'll be like, oh yeah, bro, you ain't supposed to be eating that, and I'll be like, damn, why not? And then he'll get straight into the scriptures. I mean, like I literally stopped, and then I won't say like right there I quit, but eventually I pretty much just quit cold turkey. I didn't need no steps into it or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because these was one of the simplest ones. You know what I mean? And yeah.
And the same thing with me too. Yep, I damn near quit cold turkey too. But let's break that down though. Like the brother said, I got precept. Zechariah chapter 8, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
This is Zechariah chapter 8, verse 16. These are the things that ye should do, right? So when you got cousins and brothers and people you close to, it says, speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute judgment of truth and peace in your gates. So that's what you're supposed to do. Speak the truth to your neighbor. If you got a brother and you see him going off, say something. Don't force it on him. You can't force it on him, but you might just mention it to him. If he want to listen, then hey brother, let me pull this precept for you. All right, go ahead. Okay, then you go ahead, go in the Bible, and you be like, look, brother say right here, you're not supposed to be eating shit with blood in it. You know what I mean? And then he know that it ain't just coming from you. You ain't just trying to have some type of authority over him. You actually reading out the Bible and telling him, like, look, bro, I follow the same thing. It ain't even, this from the Lord. You know? So you gotta execute that. And like you said, let me read it again so I don't butcher it. Yeah, right here. These are the things that ye should do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Speak the truth to your neighbor. That's it. Just speak the truth. Now let's break it down. Because some people may think, they might say, look, that's the Old Testament. We ain't got to keep the law, statutes, commandments no more. And then like the brother was saying, we in captivity, we can't keep them all perfect. So what are we doing? We doing this right here. Judges chapter 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the orchards and the places of the drawing of the water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of the village of Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. So, and then it goes into it more and more and more, but it's just a little precept real quick to show you that we're rehearsing the righteous acts. You can't keep them perfect, but you keep them to the best of your ability, because we're going to keep them perfect in the kingdom. That's when the Lord is going to make us perfect in the kingdom. I got another precept. Hey, grab Matthew chapter 5 real quick. So I don't. We're going to keep them perfect in the kingdom. We can't keep them perfect right now, but we're rehearsing them. And by the way of us rehearsing them, we're proving to the Lord our faith. Faith without works is dead. James chapter 2. You know, so by our works, we're showing our faith, you know, and we're rehearsing the righteous act until the Lord comes back and he makes us perfect to the point where we can keep them perfect. Now this is Jeremiah 31 verse 31. This is when we're going to keep them perfect in the kingdom. Look, you see the Latina.
Yeah. They can work their way over here.
The apostle said what the apostle said. The apostle said a lot of Jake's gonna deal with the northern kingdom, because they getting tired of the Judite woman shit, the so-called Negro woman shit, and they gonna start dealing with the Latinas, man. This is Jeremiah 31 verse 31, starting at verse 31. Maybe a couple like close to 15. It says, behold, the days come, say the Lord, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, say the Lord. So the Lord said he gonna make a new covenant. You know what I mean? It says, and what did he say? He said with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not the whole world. So how could anybody be saved, any nation on earth be saved, when the new covenant is only for the Israelites? It says, but this shall make a covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, say the Lord. I will put my laws in their inward parts, meaning that he will put the laws, statutes, commandments in our hearts. Our hearts really is talking about our minds, our brains, you know, our knowledge, our wisdom. It says, and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. So Zechariah said, look, speak the truth to your neighbor, right? Because we got to teach each other today. But when the Lord makes us perfect, we get those perfect bodies. 1 Corinthians 15, the Lord's going to download all these laws, statutes, commandments in us, and we're all going to know them, and we're all going to live by them. We ain't going to have to teach each other no more. It says, and every man his brother saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them and to the greatest of them, say the Lord. And I will forgive their iniquities and remember their sins no more. We're not going to sin no more. We're going to be made perfect. But remember, the Lord said, what? We're going to be a nation of kings and priests. So if we're a nation of priests and kings, we still got to teach, right? But it just said that we're not going to teach each other. So who are we going to be teaching? The other nations. So that shows you a difference between the other nations and the Israelites. The Israelites are going to go under the new covenant. We're not going to have to teach each other no more, because we're going to be made perfect and live and know the law, statutes, commandments. But the other nations aren't. So they're still going to be judged, because with sin comes what? Judgment. So they're going to be under us. It's easy, you know. You got that?
Yeah, right here. Matthew 5:17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law, nor the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, leave it right there. Yep. And it's just that simple. If you teach man not to keep the law, statutes, commandments, or pork chop eating pastor, then you're gonna be called least in the kingdom of heaven, right? Which means just pretty much you're gonna be looked down upon. You know, you in the wrong pretty much. You are going the wrong way. But if you teach man to keep the commandments and do the commandments, this is New Testament, Matthew chapter 5. This is coming. This is talking about the Lord, right? Because it said, look, along as the heavens and the earth, not one jot or one tittle should pass from the law, statutes, commandments. This is New Testament. Which means what? You still got to keep the law, statutes, commandments. It says not one jot or one tittle. So, I mean, it's all of them, pretty much. Except for, you know, the Lord, he replaced the sacrificial law. Guess what? He's the ultimate sacrifice, the Lord. You know, so it's just breaking it down. You know?
Yeah, he was
What's up, brother?
He was the lamb.
Hey, you heard of the Hebrew Israelites?
That's what I am, brother.
Oh, yeah, that's the spirit, man. Yep.
That's what I am.
Shalom, bro.
Shalom. Look, that's the spirit. Huh? Yeah, but you gotta think about it though. It's for the elect. So the Lord gonna bring the spirit. Whoever got the spirit to come up here, whoever the Lord wants to come up here and talk with us, the Lord gonna bring them up here. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't really worried about it. The Lord put the spirit on us to come to this location where we at. Yeah, because the camera. Yeah, my bad. So the Lord put the spirit on us to come up here where we at. The Lord got us where we at, and whoever He want to come and hear the truth, He gonna bring them by, just like yourself.
Yeah, just like you.
Just like you. And then, you know, we got the camera because we can put it on YouTube. So
Right.
when you put it on YouTube, it go around the whole world.
Right.
And they can hear the truth.
Y'all gonna be here every Sunday?
Yeah, we be here every Sunday around like 12.
I'll bring a couple more brothers.
Well, yep. That's the spirit. And see, that's the spirit right there, man. Damn. That's the spirit right there. That's how it works. But what did the brother say? He walked by and said, hey, you heard of Hebrew Israelites? He said, yeah, that's what I am.
Exactly.
So how is our people waking up and getting this knowledge knowing they Hebrew Israelites? By us being out here on the highways and byways. You know, we a little small camp, but you got camps all over in every city that's teaching the word. Look, we are the true Hebrew Israelites. And that's how brothers is waking up to knowing they the Hebrew Israelites. Like the brother said, yeah, that's what I am.
Exactly. And he, I don't know if you ask me, you know, he got to know that it's not a religion. You know what I'm saying? Just how he answered that. Yep. Like the way he answered that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's who we are as a people. That's us as a nation. That's our culture. You know what I mean? A lot of people tend to think that when we say, oh yeah, we Hebrew Israelites, they try to put us kind of in a category of Muslims or Christians, like as far as religion goes, but we not a religion. Yep. You know what I mean? We just, you know,
this is our people. This is our heritage.
It's our heritage. Yeah.
And
our
then,
nationality.
Yep. And then what he say? That's the spirit. He said, look, I'll bring a couple more other brothers. That's the spirit. That's how this thing works. That lets you know your work ain't going in vain. Because that's what we out here for. We want you to bring other brothers. What we gonna do? We gonna teach them. If they know they the Hebrew Israelites already, we gonna teach them the Lord's name, and then we gonna get into the laws. We gotta follow these laws. This is what we gotta do. If they get to asking questions, we might go into some prophecies. Because a lot of times when you go on prophecies, it reveals the answers to a lot of different things too.
Yeah, and
that's the spirit.
The main goal is to wake up the elect. So if he do come back down here next week and he brings some more brothers, in the midst of those brothers could be one of the potential chosen elect.
Yeah, and what did it say in Revelation chapter 7? It says the angels is holding back the destruction until the elect be sealed. Exactly. So this is our job to come out here and seal the elect so the destruction could come. Because when the destruction comes, we know we one step closer to the kingdom coming.
Exactly.
We got an elder back here. I don't know if y'all see on the camera. He been watching us the whole time.
Yeah.
That's the spirit. That's how you do the work, man. That's why it says your eyes should see your teachers. You have to actually get out on the highways and byways. You can't be on the internet high, man. Internet Hebrew. You have to actually get out here and let the people see you. And the brother said y'all kind of closed off right here. Y'all kind of back, but the Lord put us right here.
Mm-hmm. That's not the first time we heard that.
Yeah. The first time we heard that, I really ain't know how to answer it. I was just like, man, you know, we gonna move around, we gonna do it. But now, the knowledge and the wisdom was delivered that the Lord put us right here. The Spirit put us right here. Because this is only for the elect. So, if the Lord wants people to hear this truth, He gonna bring them by us just like He brought that brother by us. Right. We ain't gotta go to the hood and post up in the hood and try to get. No, the Lord gonna bring them where we at. We right in the middle of the town, downtown, in the middle of the whole town. So people from this side, people from the north side, And look, that's a biker crew, right? This how bullshit East Law is. That's a biker crew. They just ran a red light. And the other light, look, this traffic right here, the other light been green for them to go.
Yeah.
And the bikers ran straight through and ran a red light. Where the police at?